Kia ora.
Kia ora tātou, how you going, guys?
Very well. How did your meeting with Miles Harold go yesterday?
Oh, pretty good. I'm amazed. It's a pretty routine meeting. There seems to be an awful lot of interest in meeting Miles Harold. But look, you know, me and ex-farmer Joe caucus, we've got 3 dairy farmers in our caucus, and we sat down to talk about the RMA changes, climate policy, gene tech bill, all the kinds of things you'd expect us to talk about that affect their business.
A lot of interest in the price of butter at the moment, and yet Miles Harold, it's been difficult to get a hold of him in terms of getting a public comment. Do you think that he should front up?
Well, the simple fact is that they sell butter on the global dairy trade. That's how it works. And some people would say that they should charge less for their domestic customers. That's effectively saying to them that they've got to lose export receipts, lose tax dollars from overseas in order to give something to people here. That's a choice you could make, but it's not a choice that should be forced on them.
So do you think that he should explain that to New Zealanders?
Well, frankly, I think it's his job to speak for his company. I'm not going to say what he should or shouldn't say.
Was it ill-judged for anyone inside the government to suggest that meeting with Miles Harold could produce an outcome in regard to butter prices?
Well, look, I mean, I'm very clear. The Parliament has 2 economists, and both of them are in the ACT Party. We've even got one ACT minister who's a Fonterra dairy farmer and has an economics degree. So we're pretty clear on the idea that prices are set by the number of people that want something, the number of people that are selling it, and right now, because of conditions around the world, the price of dairy is high. Now that's good for New Zealand, it's good for taxes coming in, it's bad for people buying it, but as I consistently say, the answer to high prices is to make sure that we have a growing economy with high incomes.
But that's not consistently felt across your government, right? Because there seems to be this tendency for it to be suggested that you can just call in the CEOs of government businesses, and sort of, make clear that lower prices would be better.
Well, I mean, lower prices are better if you're buying something. There's no question about that. But I think some people have tried to mischievously misrepresent the government's position. My view is very simple. We are all New Zealanders. There's only 5 and a bit million of us. We need to work together to build a stronger economy with higher incomes so we can afford the things we need.
Who are those some people?
Oh, I'd say, I know it's already been enough attacking RNZ journalists from the government today, so I won't add anything more.
Has the Justice Minister briefed you on the planned changes to the Terrorism Suppression Act?
No, not at this point.
The New Zealand Council for Civil Liberties has expressed some concerns about potential suppression of freedom of speech. I know the ACT Party voted against the last Labour government's counterterrorism legislation bill due to civil liberty concerns in part. Will you be seeking any assurances from the Minister that
Yeah.
will impinge on?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're being consulted all the time. I don't want to talk about that. I'm pretty sure we haven't discussed that particular bill, but obviously, we do take civil liberties very seriously, and we frequently argue for them within the government apparatus. We mostly keep those discussions in-house, and then we go with the outcome.
Has New Zealand First put anything on the table in terms of the foreign buyers ban changing?
Look, I'm the minister that's responsible for that piece of legislation. We respect our coalition commitment with New Zealand First not to lift the restriction on overseas investors buying homes in our country. However, if New Zealand First changed that position, well, there wouldn't be any complaints from me. I'd be there with bells on, because I think allowing our friends around the world to come to our country, bring their money and live here is generally, and there's exceptions, but generally a win-win for New Zealand.
Do you have a minimum threshold, or are you open to pretty much anything?
Look, I opposed the foreign buyer ban when the Labour Party put it in place, and I still oppose it. If someone wants to come and buy a home and commit to living in New Zealand, I think that's a good thing.
In principle, though, New Zealand First could come back with sort of any threshold, and you think you'd sign off on that because it's better than nothing?
Well, right now the threshold's infinity, and if the infinity was to be reduced to any number lower than infinity, I would see that as progress. Personally, I'd set it at 0 because that's where it was when I opposed the foreign buyer ban. New Zealand First were involved in putting the foreign buyer ban in place. If they're now saying that they want to somehow change that, then I'm always happy to talk.
Just on terrorism again, there's been the case of Palestine Action in the UK, which has been described as a terror organisation, and supporters who have had placards saying I support Palestine Action are being charged with criminal offences. Now, the Council for Civil Liberties says that could theoretically happen here under the terror legislation. I don't know if you've looked at the UK law or what's been happening there that closely. Do you have views on whether that would be an acceptable expansion of terror law?
Well, I don't know anything about that particular organisation or what they've got up to or how the UK law works, so it's a bit hard for me to make a decision on that. But what I would say is I saw graffiti just this morning that said F Jews, and that was in New Zealand recently. Just before that, there was somebody graffitiing I hated Jews before it was cool, or words to that effect. This is in Wellington. And I think we've got to really ask ourselves, do we want to be a society that accepts that kind of thing and thinks that people who do that are just nice people who care about Palestine? I think it's time to get a little bit tough with them, frankly, because I'm sick of seeing it.
Wouldn't that be covered by existing criminal laws, though? Surely something like that wouldn't qualify as a terrorism offence.
Well, I mean, it's vandalism, and of course it's also a crime that has, under I think it's Section 9 of the Sentencing Act, a motivation which would make it a hate crime. So, yeah, that should be hit hard. I just think the people that did that should be ashamed of themselves.
A more practical example, maybe, from if someone was to hold up a sign saying I support Hamas, do you think that should be a criminal offence?
Well, yes and no. I mean, if someone's that stupid, I want to know who they are. And what I would argue that the Green Party basically doing that when they wear those scarves every day. I mean, it's just disgraceful, but unfortunately the Green Party used to be a party that strongly believed in civil liberties, and now you can't trust them so much.
You say yes and no. What's the no part of the equation?
What was the question? I said that
whether someone holding a placard saying I support Hamas should be charged with a criminal offence.
Oh, look, I don't know what the offence would be. It's certainly not. I don't think that reaches incitement. It's not a threat. But I think they should be charged with idiocy if that's possible.
The point of the law is what's being proposed is that public expressions of support for a designated entity would be an offence. So that's what the minister is looking at.
Yeah, look, I mean, like I say, we haven't been briefed on that, but given where things are at, I'm a bit more open to it than usual because some of the behaviour I've seen in our country lately is disgraceful.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.